everyone. First Bank shareholders move to remove Femi Otedola over alleged fraud. Is it trouble in paradise? Well, this is amebo. It's big people's amebo. I don't understand it, but hey, I'm just here to bring you the news as I see it, and let's go along and see what this is all about. People's Gazette is reporting it, and it said these shareholders, they claim that Mr. Otedola became a non-executive of the bank but without security clearance by the SSS and the EFCC. I remember when Otedola acquired this, but there was some sort of, drama that went on a bit. People were quite surprised. It was almost like a takeover. He came in, he bought some shares, he now had some, a good number of percentage, became a prominent shareholder, and then all of those is going. I didn't follow. I don't know whether you did, but just let's dive into this and just see what this is all about. It's very important, as we go on, for us to keep looking at different things that are happening in our country and just watching at what are the patterns, what messages are they sending, how did they come about, how do we ensure that everything is sanitized in such a way that we have a level playing field for everybody in Nigeria. Some shareholders of First Bank of Nigeria Holdings PLC on Wednesday called for the removal of Chairman Femi Otedola. The group of shareholders who own 10% shares in the company called for an extraordinary general meeting to be held within 21 days as provided by Section 215 subsection 1 of the Karma Law to achieve their demand, amongst others. According to them, Mr. Otedola emerged the FBN Holdings, that's First Bank of Nigeria Holdings chairman, by acquiring significant amounts of shares with the influence of immediate past Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. I'm sure it's no longer news to anyone now knowing that Godwin Emefiele is facing trial over allegation of billions of dollars corruption coming on him, against him, in a lot of ways. The ways that he handled the Central Bank of Nigeria has not been the way that the Central Bank should be handled. And so that's one thing on one hand about Godwin Emefiele. He said, adding that the bank's former chief executive officer, Adesola Adedunton, assisted Mr. Otedola to take over the bank as ordered by Mr. Emefiele. There are also other banks. I think Heritage Bank is one of them, where there also been talk about, the way that they were taking over. It was not done with transparency. It's not through a transparent process. There's even another particular bank, can't remember which of the bank it is right now, where they said literally it's almost as if they just sold it among themselves at a giveaway price. That's the allegation that have been out there. And then this one, of course, that we see here now about Mr. Otedola and the way he was able to acquire these shares from these shares of First Bank. They claim that Mr. Otedola became a non-executive of the bank, but without security clearance by the State Security Service and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. After the takeover, however, Mr. Otedola ousted Mr. Adedunton, the then bank chairman, Tunde Hassan Odukale, executive director, Tosin Adewuyi, group head, Folake Ani Mumune, including a journalist and non-executive director of the bank subsidiary, Ijoma Wogugu, for authoring a critical article. Stakeholders claim that with Mr. Otedola as chairman, his personal employee at Holdco and another at the bank, he had seized control of the bank and did what he wanted. They also feared that with the private placement of 360 billion naira shares, he would have absolute control and turn First Bank to his piggy bank without checks, balances, and corporate governance. They believe that if not for Mr. Emefiele, Mr. Otedola could not have passed the fit and proper test after he ruined several banks with non-performing loans sold to AMCON. AMCON is one of those things, that have been used to, how do I say, to loot money out of Nigeria, that have been used, in short, when you talk about corruption. So this is what happens. People will take loans, humongous amount of loans, probably put it in some companies, and then the next thing, when the company is going down, the bank takes over this company, and then so that the companies don't fall, they are not ruined in a way, maybe banks or whatever, so that they are not ruined. And then it is taxpayers' monies that are used to hold these companies, and at the end of the day, after a while, they are now sold to other people at a cost that is much lower than what they ordinarily should have been worth without all of that saga. So it's almost like people intentionally are collecting humongous amount of money that they know they're not going to pay back, but at the end of the day, they're going to get away with it, and these companies, AMCOM will come and take it. When several times, Nigeria is just such a complex nation. Even things that are put together for the betterment of the nation, some people have a way to criminally turn it and begin to use it for their own, personality. So, well, the story of AMCOM, I've done some videos on AMCOM before. It will be another story for another day. This day reports that the African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, has granted Mr. Otedola $45 to $50 million loan, which is about 90 billion naira. According to the source, the loan will enable him, Otedola, to take full control during the proposed 360 billion naira private placement. But some of the shareholders are saying instead of a private placement for shares of the bank, it should be by right issue or public offer. A little bit that I know, private placement is not everybody that takes part in it. It's just for a select few to say, okay, they're going to sell these shares and they buy it. Public, and there's some people, it's usually in some countries, it's only sophisticated, investors that are allowed, I think in the US, that are, or some other countries that are allowed to take part in private placement. It's very risky. And then it can be, of course, anything that is very risky has high price, high return on investment and stuff like that. If it plays very well, you are able to make a lot on it. But what these ones are saying, that they should make it the right issue, in the fact that those who already have existing shares, they should be given opportunity to buy based on what they have, and then or make it public, so not the one that one person will just be able to garner the percentage. And when it comes to in public PLCs, public companies, it's all about who has the higher number of shares. The moment you have the higher number of shares, you are able to dictate everything that you want to do that. So this is what this particular people, the particular shareholders are fighting against. A source also alleged that Mr. Otedola's preference for private placement is targeted at gaining control of the financial institution as his private estate. This development comes after recent organizational shakeup that witnessed about 100 senior staff members being laid off, including top executives, for its corporate restructuring and repositioning plan for 2025 after the confirmation of Olusegun Alebiosi as the bank's managing director and chief executive officer, CEO, in June 2024. Well, there's going to be a lot of drama going on, a lot of things going on. Hopefully they are able, we'll see how it comes out, able to resolve it, and there's no any hanky-panky. And if there's any hanky-panky anywhere, this is the time that EFCC, ICPC, police and all of that should be interested and ensuring that the institution that the First Bank is not just allowed to be destroyed based on somebody's personal whims or caprices. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.